Hello everybody, K-Whip here, and in this video I will be giving a little bit of insight and an update on why I've been playing, streaming, and uploading Apex Legends content lately instead of Destiny 2. I want to start off by saying I don't think this will be a permanent shift, and I am not done with Destiny, but I'm certainly enjoying Apex a lot right now. It's a game I think has improved a lot since its release, and it does a lot of things really well. I also realize it does some of the things that I like about Destiny 2 PvP just as well, and in some cases even better. I will be talking about some of these factors that have swayed me to grind Apex so heavily lately, and take Destiny just about completely off my mind. Now, the main reasons I've switched over to Apex from Destiny are fluidity and balance. And these concepts apply in several aspects of the game, which makes for a very smooth experience. Let's start with fluidity. Apex as a game flows incredibly well. This is primarily demonstrated by the movement in Apex. I find the movement to be fantastic in this game. I love the slide mechanics, it feels really smooth. The increased speed by sliding down hills or other descending elevations is awesome. I do like that you can vary your speed on any character by bolstering your weapons to move faster. Then if you really want to be mobile, there are plenty of characters with stellar movement abilities that each bring something a little different to the table. Octane, you can have consistent individual horizontal speed with a pad capable of team use that can launch you horizontally or vertically. Ryzen has impeccable verticality that can be used by you and your team. Then Pathfinder can propel himself in practically any direction without allowing others to use the utility to follow him, which brings its own advantages. This brings up another thing that I think Apex is great at, making sure everything has a role and some sort of relevancy. Characters and weapons each have their own situations where they are helpful, and that's where the game's fantastic balance comes into play. There are many relevant and powerful options and ways to play, so you aren't forced into using a single weapon or a certain playstyle. This is an issue Destiny has had for ages. Metas are constantly feeling oppressive, and it can be hard to deviate from what is clearly the best option. This has become less of an issue with primary weapons in general, but there are still some clear standouts. However, special weapon balance and subclass balance is probably close to the least balanced it has ever been, with stasis and shotguns being clear top options. Ah yes, I have now mentioned stasis, which brings me back to my point on fluidity. And yes, stasis is getting nerfed actually the day that I'm dropping this video, however not in ways that I personally think are appropriate. I think they're kind of doing it the wrong way and not nerfing the proper things, as they're looking more towards nerfing damage of stasis compared to nerfing the strength of the freeze and the slows. But back to fluidity. There are a few things that restrict your movement or take away your control when it comes to Apex Legends. Just about the only thing that takes away your control is a Horizon ult, which isn't too oppressive because, well, it's an ultimate, so it's not something that has a low cooldown, as well as it can be countered by shooting it to destroy it, avoiding it, or using a different movement ability to get out of it. So there's all this great movement and control in Apex with little detracting from it. And when I go back to Destiny, whose movement I used to really enjoy, I actually feel pretty slow and restricted. Because with stasis, your movement gets completely interrupted and you have no control for a couple seconds and become helpless, which is a brutal and unappealing feeling. Another example of the fluidity of Apex comes in its reload mechanics, which I think are fantastic. You can reload while sprinting. There's two separate reload times, one for emptying a full mag, which is longer, and then one that's faster for firing less than a full mag. I like this because it provides a strategic decision on when to reload and how to use your ammo. Also, it relatively saves your progress of reloading. For example, if you empty a full mag, do the first part of the reload and climb up a wall, when you're done climbing, it won't restart your reload, but instead just do the final cocking animation to finish the reload. Last couple things I want to talk about are the things that I enjoyed about Crucible that Apex also does well. In both games, I like that you basically know when you're going to get into a fight. This is because in Destiny, there's constant radar up close alerting you to nearby enemies, so you're ready for fights when they come by generally. Then in Apex, people are rather loud, and if they get close you can practically always tell. I think that the audio of Apex is very good and it provides plentiful information while in-game, so you typically know when you're going to get into a fight. Another thing I like about Apex is variety. Due to the Battle Royale format, you at least start games with randomized loot, which makes you use different things, which keeps things interesting. With Destiny, however, you can control what you use to get the variety you want out of the game, which is different for everyone, but personally I like to mix things up. So I like using a lot of different sets of weapons somewhat randomly in Apex. Another thing that's really nice about Apex is just the feel of the weapons and the gunplay. I'm not going to say that Destiny's gunplay is bad at all, I actually really enjoy it, but comparing the two, I really like how Apex plays. There seems to be quite a bit less aim assistance, so that's a little bit more of a challenge to hit shots and people are a little bit more differentiated for that reason. Then there's the added difficulty of like leading people when they're running and also accounting for bullet drop and travel time, which isn't something I was ever a big fan of, but lately it's something that's grown on me quite a bit. So that used to be something that I thought was a detractor from the game, but now it doesn't really bother me. But anyway, I thought I'd give you some reasoning to why I've been playing Apex over Destiny lately, because for the last couple of years my channel's been almost entirely Destiny. There are things that I do miss about the game. I definitely prefer respawn game modes with lots of repetition because it provides many opportunities for clips and constant action. So I may make a comeback somewhat soon to Destiny and maybe balance my play with these two games more, but we'll just have to see. And yeah, if you haven't tried Apex in a while, I would recommend it. I think the game is in a really great spot right now. And thank you all for watching, and see you later.